In this orthokeratology case, we have treatments that are a little bit decentered temporally in both eyes, but the biggest problem is the patient's undercorrected, and we can see that there's a not very prominent reverse curve ring, especially in the right eye, even though the refractive error is up around 3 diopters. We should see a little bit more of a ring. So I'm going to bring up the patient's lens. So this is the patient's lens for the right eye. It's a freeform, quadrant specific, pretty flat cornea. So even though the power is not really high, we have a pretty flat lens. I think the part that's giving us problems is this area of the topography, where this area is steepening and wave is creating a lens. And you can see here where the reverse curve, or the alignment curve here, is steeper. And if we go here, you can see that the color is different from the bottom or the edges. You can also see that it's a taller, so we have a higher dioptric power in the curve here. I have a feeling this is giving us a little bit too steep of an edge, and so we're not getting enough contact closer towards the center of the lens. So I think I would go to a GSIM, and what we want to do is assume that this lower part of the cornea is the one that is more true to life and the one that we want to follow. So I'm going to just look here, and we have a sag of about 1659 down here out at the pink dot. And so I'll bring up a GSIM lens. Okay, so same patient, but we have the lens in GSIM now. I'm not going to flip back and forth between the two lenses, but if you do and you check the position of the IC control point, you'll see that it's, even though we're in GSIM now, these positions haven't changed very much. 572 here in this quadrant, 580 in this quadrant. If you look back at your freeform lens, you'll see those IC sag depths are also around 570, 580. So the biggest difference is going to be at the edge of the lens. And if we look here, we can see that we've got that steepening above and below now. So actually, when we went to GSIM, wave took the upper part of the cornea and duplicated to the bottom. We actually want to take the bottom and duplicate it to the top. So our sag down here is 1674. I think we want to be closer to 1650, like on the other lens. So just need to, this will be in, we can do 25% mode. We'll speed this up a little bit. Pretty close. Maybe a little too much. Okay, so we're around 1650, and you can see that the differentiation of the color has kind of softened a little bit. It's still steeper above, and if we measure 1649 in the horizontal meridian, we're at 1606, so we're almost 50 microns steeper with greater sagittal depth still in the vertical meridian. So I don't think there's no toricity to the peripheral cornea. I think there is some, and a 40 to 50 micron difference out here is probably okay. I think it's also worth checking the oblique meridians, and we're at 1628. So that's kind of between the 1600 and the 1650. So I think that's a pretty good spot. We'll leave the obliques as they are. And this is probably the lens I dispense to the patient.